Hello, my friends. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, what time it is for you. Just welcome once again to Kardec Radio. This is Spiritism, a closer look. I am Luiz Lima, your host. And by the way, every week on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we bring different subjects. If you want to request a subject, a topic for discussion or anything along those lines, just go to kardecradio.com, or you can also go to our Facebook page, Spiritism, a closer look, and just put your comments and suggestions and even questions. If you're watching us live, you can do the same. And tonight, our topic, we are going to take a closer look at gratitude. Gratitude is something a little bit complicated, a little bit challenging at times, but we need to talk about it. The Spiritist codification addresses that in several different points. So we're going to use our time today to take a look at gratitude. And that includes, by itself, the other way around, ingratitude, being grateful or not. Okay, thanks, Recanto Roberto, for being here with us and joining us for tonight's reflection. So let's go. Well, what is gratitude? Essentially, in a very simple statement, we could say that gratitude is a form of acknowledgement, appreciation. But just because of that definition, it entails in something else. It entails humility and selfishness. So these things, they kind of all go together. They are entangled in a way. One calls for the other. Let's see how the spirits put that information or put that idea in the codification. If you go to the Spirit's book, okay, there are two questions about this part, gratefulness. There are questions 937 and 938, and Allan Kardec calls this little part, he calls disappointments by ingratitude, which I'm sure we all have felt one way or another, one time or another. So let's look at what so there's a question about ingratitude, and in answering the question, the spirits are going to tell us this. We're going to go slowly so we can understand exactly what's being said. So here it is. Those are spirits telling us, right, through Allan Kardec. We have already taught you, because it's already referenced in one of the previous questions, to feel pity for ungrateful and disloyal friends. Feel pity, right? It doesn't say rage, hatred, pity. It's completely different. They will be unhappier than you are. So it kind of, in between lines, he's telling us when somebody comes with an attitude of ingratitude, we tend to be unhappy in a way. And what he's saying, what the spirits are saying is, they will be unhappier than you are. And they continue. This is part of the same paragraph. Ingratitude is the child of selfishness. And selfish individuals will sooner or later encounter hearts as hard as their own. Because we've all, whatever stage that we are, each one of us, and it's different for everyone, of course, whatever stage we are, we're worse than what we are today. Gratefulness was something unachievable several lifetimes ago. Now, not necessarily it is. We get better. So sooner or later, we are going to have to go through this. We are going to encounter souls and people that we're going to have to deal with. Okay, that's what the Spirit says. Let's put a reflection around what they said. So first thing, gratitude ties into happiness. So gratitude is this, I would say, a magnet for happiness. If you're grateful, you're a magnet for happiness. Happiness. If you're not, you're a magnet for unhappiness. So we could say that gratitude is kind of an early stage of happiness. Early stage of happiness is a primitive form of happiness, right? And I would go further. I would say that it's gratitude is a flawless way of being happy. Flawless way of being happy. You can't go wrong by being grateful. So it's a flawless way of being happy. It's a sign of hope. It shows hope to when we are grateful for whatever it is. We usually our gratefulness is very fragmented. So we are grateful for 1 minute, then we are not for 2 months, we are again for 3 minutes, and we are not for 3 days. It's very fragmented. But on those moments that we are grateful for something, we become grand. We feel that oh my God. And that's a sign of hope, because at that moment, it's telling us what the future can bring if we repeat that all the time. What is repeat that? Being grateful all the time. Being grateful, gratitude makes us vibrant. It makes life worth it. But it all depends on us. It's all free will. It's a choice. I can be grateful for a lot of things or nothing, or I can be ungrateful for a lot of things. For the same situation, we have people that are grateful for and people who are ungrateful for, and they are living or being part of the same situation. It's a choice. It's a matter of, it's a personal choice. So gratitude is this reconciliation with the self. When we are grateful for something, we, like I said, we feel grand. You reconcile with the self. During those moments, there's no, you're not angry about anything. There's no bad neighbor. There's no, difficult son, daughter, husband, wife, nothing like this. It is just that we are great for things, but in a very fragmented way. So the amount of time, if you put it all together in terms of minutes or hours or whatever you want to call, if you put it all together, it's minimum. The amount of gratitude that we are involved with, it's minimum. So gratitude is this reconciliation with the self, because if we don't do this, or even better, when we don't do this, when we are not grateful for things, we are in pain. We are living the inner conflict. We are suffering. We are gasping for a better self. I just want to be better, but I can't because I'm not grateful for anything. I complain about everything. I don't want to, be grateful for things that people do for me, for things that happen to me. So we can't live this way in a happy, with happiness. It's just not going to happen. So dare to be grateful. That goes for me too. It's for all of us. Nobody's better than anybody here. So let's dare to be grateful. Our gratefulness, or our forms of gratitude, they are so fragmented that to be grateful for something, it requires us to put a strategy together. Oh, let's see how I'm going to think this, how I'm going to. It's not intuitive. It's not something that's automated in our perispirit. Not yet. Not yet. For most of us, for the great majority of us incarnated on Earth, and exactly that's the reason Earth is a planet for those spirits undergoing trials and expiations. So gratitude is difficult, is challenging. So yeah, let's dare to be grateful. Let's dare to be grand. Feel this, this great feeling of doing something good. Gratitude requires no special place, no special time, no special circumstances. You can be sitting there, I can be sitting here, and we can be grateful for things. It's not, oh, when this particular situation happens, yeah, then I'm going to be grateful for it. We don't have to wait for anything to happen. How about the things that have already happened? And we were never grateful for those. Gratitude is free for everyone. It's for those who want, for those who have understood its value. Again, gratitude is an early stage of happiness. So, how about the other way around? Not being grateful, ingratitude. The Spirit's book addresses that in several different parts, several questions. We picked one in the beginning, question 937. But here's the reflection about ingratitude. Lack of gratitude is nothing more than lack on focus, lack of focus on the natural law, the divine law. Ingratitude does not reconcile or resonate with the divine law. It makes us turn our back on it. Practicing or attitudes of ingratitude, they makes us turn our back to the divine law. So ingratitude is this attempt towards unhappiness, which is absurd if we completely understand what the spirits are telling us. It's an investment towards a grim future. So we should never, ever practice or even think about ingratitude. Not that we don't do it. Again, it's very challenging, it's difficult, but we're trying to get the information that the spirits gave us and put a reflection upon it. That's how we get better, right? Reflecting on things. And we are getting information from those who have done what we are doing now. They underwent what we are undergoing now. So ingratitude, or any form or at any level, lack of gratitude blinds us. So we cannot see beyond ourselves. We cannot see beyond ourselves. We get extremely limited because ingratitude goes against gratitude, which is a form of happiness. So I can't see beyond what I have today. It's like more of the same if I do this every day or very often. One form of ingratitude that we should pay attention to, especially, it's difficult, but we should pay attention to recognize. Changing is step number 2. Step number 1 is recognizing. Is what we call, do not bite the hands that feed you. Do not bite the hands that feed you. So somebody does something for you that's good for you. They allocate their energy, time, effort, whatever, to do something good for us. They do it, and we turn our back and we do not reconcile with that properly. According to neurosciences, and that's been proved all along, ingratitude is harmful. It's harmful to the brain. It's harmful for the body. So we shouldn't go as far as allowing harm in ourselves because of ingratitude or ungratefulness. We should not allow for that. And we are the only ones that can block it, nobody else. It's personal, it's a choice. So when Jesus was with us here on earth, He taught us that when somebody comes with hate, what do? I show the other face of this. I show love. That's the kiss the other cheek or the other face. So somebody comes to us, they carry some sort of ingratitude towards our actions, just like the Spirit's book said in the beginning we read. What do? We turn our back on them and say, yeah, I'm going to do the same to you? Never. That's against the law. Never. That's not what he said. That's not what he taught. That's not what he did, by the way. So we should never respond to someone who is coming to us with any form or intensity of ingratitude and do the same. Never. Gratitude inspires. Ingratitude weakens. Gratitude ennobles. Ingratitude breaks dignity. So being grateful is what we have to learn. And it's little by little. That's why we need many lifetimes, many lives, many incarnations to be able to, little by little, first grasp its meaning, and second, start practicing getting better until one day in the future, way in the future, being grateful for things is going to be automated in our very spirit. Here's one example. A lot of times we see people recovering from any sort of illness, it doesn't matter. So any form of illness, they're in the hospital, going through all the process of, recovery. It's not fun at all. Nobody likes to be in the hospital, of course. And we hear a lot of this. When I get better, when I get out of here, I'm going to do some sort of compensation. I'm going to go to my church and do this. I'm going to thank this and this and this. Why not do it now? Why do we have to wait for full recovery? You see, we attach gratefulness to a reason. If we attach gratefulness to a reason, we attach happiness for a reason. So somebody's pretty happy, you're looking at them, they're very happy, and you go to them and says, why are you so happy? Please, why do we have to ask that? It doesn't even make sense. And the person doesn't have to have a reason to justify to me why I'm asking them why they're happy. Think about it, it makes no sense. Gratefulness being an early stage of happiness, it's the same thing. So gratitude can transform the worst into the best. Because if we're not grateful for anything or for a particular situation, it only means that we don't see any good in that situation. So we can't see anything better than what I see. We can't see anything positive. And I'm always going to be looking at this as a negative thing, as the worst thing ever. Gratitude can transform the worst into the best. We can always find something to be grateful for. Always. Even death sounds strange, sounds complicated, sounds challenging. Yes, it does. But think about this. We are hardly ever grateful for all the loved ones who passed. Not because of the loss itself, it wouldn't even make sense, not because of the loss itself, but because we had the time with them. We had the opportunity to spend time with them. And that's why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling, because they passed and they were good to us. We did great things. We worked together, whatever. They were family, they were close friends, whatever it is. You see, so it's because it is needed for us to go through these things to achieve perfection. Going through these things is actually a milestone that piles up with all the experiences, spiritual experiences that we have to be able to reach or achieve perfection. We have to have all sorts of experiences, from the worst to the best. This is just one of them. It's a milestone. So if somebody passed, a loved one passed, yeah, okay, of course, I'm going to cry. I'm going to be, you know, on the days following, few days following, I'm going to be reflecting upon things, remembering things. But for the most part, I got to be grateful that I was given the opportunity to spend time with that loved one. And it was so great that I'm feeling its absence. By the way, we last week, I think, we mentioned this. There is presence in every absence. We miss people, loved ones who passed because in spirit they are still with us. So there's presence. But the physical body is not there. That's absence. So there is presence in every absence. But for the most part, we are hardly ever grateful for situations like this, if ever. So we go back to question 93, where the spirits keep telling us, this is continuation from the very beginning when we started. Let the good you have done be your reward in this world. And do not worry about what those who have benefited from it say. Meaning, I do something good for somebody and they don't care. They don't say thank you or anything like this. What are the spirits telling us? Do not worry about it. And they continue. They sum up with this. Ingratitude serves to test your persistency, your persistence in doing good. Ingratitude serves to test your persistence in doing good. So we need that. We need to go through situations of ingratitude where we primarily want to react badly, but no, this is just a test. And I have to pass that test. When I don't feel this way about people who are ungrateful towards us, the day that I don't feel this anymore, then yes, then I've passed the test. And I don't have to go through situations of this anymore. They won't bother me anymore. It's going to be automated in my perispirit. So gratitude, it's something. It's not something that we should ever give up on. Never. We should never give up on being grateful for anything. We have a tendency, a strong, tremendous tendency, to be grateful only for the things that please us. But what about the things that teach us something? Things that teach us something, sometimes they don't please us. But down the road, they will be lessons learned. And for those I'm not going to be thankful, I'm not going to be grateful, of course I should. It's easy to be grateful for something that pleases me. But what we lack is understanding and practicing being grateful for things that teach me something. Not necessarily they are fun. They are sometimes difficult situations. They are, like I just said, some of them are nothing more than milestones. How about being grateful for our wrongdoings of the past? Same thing. They were opportunities. They were milestones. that with time, they will lead us to resonate with nature, because we are going to see, looking at these situations, I already lived through this. I don't want to do this anymore. So that's one less problem that I have to deal with. I don't want to deal with this anymore. And then the next one, then the next one, the next one. There's going to be a point where I don't have to deal with this anymore, period. I will just be grateful for things around me, for things of the past, for what's going to be on my way. It's all for better. So it's very clear from the spirits. Gratitude ties into happiness. It's an early, primitive form of happiness. So if you are able to predict happiness, if you are able to predict happiness, you are able to predict gratefulness. And if you're able to predict gratefulness, you are able to resonate with the divine law. And if we are able to predict that, we just have to do it. I'm not saying it's easy, it's not. But you see, the possibility is right in front of us. Because I'm sure all of us can predict happiness. I'm not talking about happiness in terms of material acquisitions, no. Happiness of the soul. Happiness of the soul happens in fragmented moments. We mentioned this, fragmented moments, when we go through minutes of unconditional love, minutes of great gratefulness. So it's not that we don't know, we cannot sustain, that's different. Sustaining these things is complicated, but we know. So we are able to predict them. So we have an open avenue to practice these things. This is our best incarnation. Whoever you are, whoever we are, this is your best incarnation ever. So everything that contributed for you and I to be here right now on my best incarnation, on your best incarnation, we, me, you, should be thankful for it. All the milestones, all the teachings, the hard ones, the easy ones, those who didn't please us at the time, they were milestones. They made me, they brought me here, they brought you there. On my best incarnation, on your best incarnation. So everything contributed for this. So we should be grateful for it. That's gratitude according to the Spiritist view. The Spiritist literature, especially the literature after Allan Kardec, complementary books or supplement literature, there's a lot of reflection upon things such as gratitude. But for now, you and me, right now, this second, just have this in mind. Gratitude is an early stage of happiness. More gratefulness, more happiness. Thank you very much for participating with us. And we will be here next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern with another edition of Spiritism, a closer look right here at Kardec Vega. Thanks so much.